Hi, everyone. I'd like to start off with a big thank you to the organizers for doing this in Istanbul. One of the main reasons for this thanks is that I'm here every month, so this means it makes a lot of sense for me to be here and talk to a lot of our Turkish partners. Second of all, I'd like to thank them for offering me the possibility of being challenged by one of the participants saying to me, wow, so you work for one of these global old brokers. Wow, so you're here to hear about how you're going to be disrupted, right? But they didn't mean it as a joke. They were really thinking that I'm here to hear about how we are going to be disrupted. But that's not the main reason why I am here. My main reason is to tell you what we're doing, our role in advancing the insurance industry. So, in a nutshell, this slide basically tells you what is Marsh going to do and how it's going to help both the insurers, its competitors, INSURTECHs, its clients, insurers, reinsurers, and so on. So we believe insurance should be supporting innovation, and I have a couple of slides elaborating on that. Customer experience is the ultimate true north. We believe capital is fastly losing its importance in the value chain, in the insurance value chain, and customer experience is paramount. We are investing a lot in digital identity as what we believe is a clear key to unlock new products, new services, with a clear emphasis on new. Next one is sensitive, because we think, and this is something that I personally believe in, the industry has a major trust issue. Major. I've been with Marsh for 11 years now. Previously, I was a marketing guy. I worked for McCann Erickson. And what is still staggering to me is the level of distrust amongst everyone in the value chain. And a lot of, it was interesting to see one of Rob's slides around the costs. And I think I don't know if distrust is in that figure or you add it on top, but if you add it on top, my God, I don't know. Connectivity as an enabler. There's been a lot of talk about this here, and it's refreshing to see this. It's something, again, that we're investing time and effort in. Data, insights, correlation, and predictive analytics. So this is in tune with Eric's slides. We have been in this game for a very long time. Just as a philosophical approach, we do this client-focused, client-based. For those of you that don't know Marsh, we're a very client-focused organization. We've been around for 150 years, and if you ask anyone in the company what's our secret, it's only client-focused. This is the only thing that makes us go forward. Good. These are the key pillars. So we're building platforms. We believe in blockchain. This has attracted a lot of attention within our organization. We're members of B3I. We are building private blockchain platforms with all of the major technologies, Hyperledger, Corda, and so on. I believe personally that we're barely scratching the surface. Sanam, don't tell this to Sastry in Minneapolis, please, because he might get offended. I just quoted we have a chief digital officer, and my favorite joke is, no, we do not have a chief analog officer. I don't know who that is, but he doesn't have that title. We're looking towards operational efficiencies, and it was a very insightful presentation from Rob to anyone that's now getting in touch with the industry, and I have his book on Kindle, and I can tell you it will be insightful for you to understand some of the things and how they work. And I encourage you to download it. At least I'm not a paper person. Client value, again, why it's in the middle? Because we're so focused on our clients. We really believe that all of these ecosystems, as was discussed here today, will have a positive effect on the industry. We're very collaborative. Indeed, Marsh in the past has not been very collaborative, has been a silo on its own. This has changed with our new management a few years back. So we're very open to talk to anyone and collaborate and share our knowledge. And you'll see a practical example of how we are doing this. We have our own labs, so we're incubating in various areas. We have now one in Phoenix, Arizona, because this is where we have that hub. But we're looking to replicate this both externally and internally. Now, some of the challenges of our industry as I see it. Insurance penetration is stagnating. Just to take Turkey or Romania, just because I'm Romanian, insurance penetration is 150 euros per capita. You go to Austria, it's almost 4,000. But this has not increased. Neither in Austria, neither in the US, Romania, you name it. So there's very few countries in the world where insurance penetration is stagnating. I've had a debate with a friend who's CEO of one of the Allianz operations in Western Europe, and he said, all of the premiums are growing, but our share of wallet has basically stayed the same. And I said, yeah, but how many new products did you put out to the market lately? Yeah, he could name 5 or 6, which is fine, but nothing major at attracting new business from new areas. That is why, one of the reasons why that is product development is complex. And the intentions behind the complexity of product development are all right. Regulation, sustainability, all of the reasons why it's so hard to pull out a product are undebatable. And third, and I come back to this point, achieving trust amongst partners is paramount. And I feel this problem does not get enough attention. One of my key points is there is a misconception about insurance as being old and cumbersome in many ways, and that it doesn't innovate. But this is a misconception because insurance is an enabler of innovation more than anything. Think of Lloyd's. They basically created long maritime journeys because they could take the risk. They even insured the risk of sending a warship to Denmark and then just getting in return a bell that they put on the front entrance. The first motor car policy made people confident enough to use the car. The first trip to space had to be insured for everyone that participated to feel confident that they will not lose their investment. And even put in an ad from my favorite client, Orange, in Romania, that sells mobile phone insurance. Even that is pushing people to buy more phones, more expensive phones, because if I drop it, like I did on the way here, you will not incur that cost. Actually, we had a case study with Orange in Romania. 70% of the people that switched from just an average smartphone to a high-end smartphone said that they did this because Orange was offering a good insurance product attached to it. So it's a very important feature of today's world, and it doesn't get enough credit. Insurance enables innovation, and this is my focus today. With our colleagues, we have a sister company in Marsh & McLennan Group called Oliver Wyman, and we did a scan of the startup world. This is a study that you can download yourself. It's free of charge on oliverwyman.com. And this radar has 3 main areas. So startups that focus on the proposition, changing the way in which you portray an existing product. Then you have another section which is distribution, changing the way you reach your clients. And then operations, something Rob talked about. There is an opportunity to make all of these operations more efficient. What is interesting but somehow disconcerting to me is that there's a lot of time, effort, money in the proposition part, and not a lot around new products to new market segments that will improve penetration. Operations is an important area, but let's be honest, insurers are on average running a 10% margin. So if there's no seismic shift, that sale is hard. Their true problem, our industry's true problem, is that we're not growing fast enough. Because if you grow, you have risk dispersion. Everything gets better with growth. And we are not achieving that as an industry. So if you're an INSURTECH and you want to see where there's the biggest bang you can make in this industry, it's actually in tapping into new areas. The insurance industry has done a good job of creating new products lately, like cyber insurance. In all the segments, it has followed suit. It has improved how we look at cyber risk, and some advances have been made. But there's room for improvement. There can be new products in new areas, like in the consumer space, like in identity theft and so on, that can be making a very big impact on the industry. And because I said I come from an old, maybe one of the few old global organizations that are present today that had the guts to show up. Is anyone from AIG or Chubb in the room? So other old, because these were on Rob's top list or top old list. No? Okay, no. Then I would like to get a sense of the room, and I have, you can put the website on. So I have a little Mentimeter moment going on. I'd just like to understand your views as an audience. I would like you to place a bet on how the insurance industry will evolve. Will it be a full-fledged ecosystem? For those that have been in these sort of events, maybe the Munich Re kind of approach, where insurance will have its own ecosystem and other products and services will be attached to it, and they will have insurance will have a power on its own in attracting and retaining customers. Or we're simply going to have a better customer experience on the existing product. So the products are fine, we just need to massively invest in customer experience. Or will it be, insurance will be just a feature of other ecosystems, like car insurance will be a feature of your car, phone insurance will be a feature of your phone, household insurance will be a feature of your apartment, of your smart home, or your fridge, for that matter. So where do you see that the insurance industry will ultimately end up? Right. So we have a tie now. 6-6. Come on, there's more than 16 people in the room. I get a vote as well. So at the end, if there's one difference, I can veto this. Right, but I don't think I can shift it though. 22. Come on. I have only 3 minutes left, so I'll have to stop it here. So I would say a feature of other ecosystems, but that doesn't change the end result. You're playing with me, guys. Right, let's stop it here. It was a nice exercise. Thank you for participating, and it's still going on. We'll put it on at the end. Let's switch back to the slides, please. Right, so there was a lot of talk around value chain, and this is the number one thing that I totally liked about this event. A lot of content around the value chain for everyone to understand what's going on. So I'm going to have my own version of it, as I promised to Timo yesterday on Twitter. So you have the end customer, then you have the broker that represents the interests of the end customer, that talks to either the insurer or someone that represents the interest of the insurer, an MGA or an agent. Then the insurer gets insurance on its own and has a reinsurance broker that will find reinsurance for him. But in other words, what are the activities in the value chain that we need to focus on are distribution, actuarial, very important, doesn't get enough credit if you ask me. Policy administration, again, this is related to data and how we crunch it, and I have a view on data. Insurance data gets today rotten very easily. It's not gold data, it's apples. If you don't use it, if you don't eat the apple now, it will rot. So you need to be nimble in using the data. Then you have licensing and regulation, claims management, which is the ultimate customer experience, I agree. And then you have capital, which may come from an insurer, might come from a reinsurer, but can come from alternative capital providers, which is a very big trend in the industry. Or the end customer could be the provider of capital. And you have today insurance captives that basically bring a big company's capital into financing their own risk. So most people do the introductions at the beginning, I do them at the end. I'm responsible for one of Marsh's 3 main pillars of business. It's called consumer and commercial for this region here. It's called Central and Southeastern Europe. The hub is in Vienna, but our biggest operation is in Turkey, hence my constant presence here. We have 17 countries, 15 languages, and 3 different alphabets. This is not in. So 2 countries, actually, Croatia and Serbia, speak the same language, but in a different alphabet, which is so complex to an American. I know, so, sorry. 10 different currencies. Thank you, Euro, for cutting down that. 50 billion in premium. We have 960 people working. The GDP is 3.2 trillion, and we have over 200 million inhabitants. Another key point that I'd say here is that there's a lot of business in motor insurance. This is, if I have to take one thing that's common to all these countries, from Israel to Estonia, is that there's a lot of business in motor insurance, and the penetration of this product is very good. We as Marsh have developed many disruptive programs, but I'm only going to touch upon, I'm not going to talk about Consirus, our marine blockchain platform. I'm going to talk about things that have an implication in this area of the world. We developed Insure My Tesla globally, but it does have an impact on territories in this region, where Tesla basically wants to own the customer experience and has ultimately disagreed with the underwriting made by the insurers. And we tap into that and crunched all the data for them. And for them to finance the risk, we had this conversation. I was in that conversation when they said, so if we want to take the risk ourselves, what's the licensing regulation? Well, you need some capital in. How much? 4 or 5 million euros. And they laughed in our faces. Raising 4 million for Tesla is peanuts. So I'm sorry. So if we don't move fast enough, that's an issue. We've enabled 20 telcos in Central and Eastern Europe to be distributing insurance, a variety of insurances, from motor insurance to health to your almost common mobile phone insurance. And then we have little smaller projects for like usage-based insurance for a Romanian startup in the bike sharing space, and we also do some e-scooters in Vienna and things like that. So we help startups in new areas to use insurance as an enabler. We've been pushing the boundaries for a very long time. Marsh practically invented mobile phone insurance over 20 years ago when they did a partnership with Car Phone Warehouse. So there were no mobile phones, there were just car phones. We've automated claims a long time ago. 11 years ago, we managed to settle a claim in under a minute with zero paper. We've done the first captive in Central and Eastern Europe for MOL, it's an oil and gas company, and we've created also the first captive for insurance distribution for the Vodafone Group. Just for you to understand, it was 10 years before the American telco carriers built their own captives. And this is my end. We have a program called CSEE Forward, where we want to work with startups. We want to help the startup community. What we offer? We think of our resources as we want to open source everything that Marsh does. That is our industry expertise, our leverage on the insurance and reinsurance market, our knowledge of all the processes that are involved, our long-standing experience in handling claims. We can interlink all of the startups with all of the insurers and reinsurers in the world, also to provide alternative capacity. In terms of technology, we are offering to tap into our API layer. For example, you want to create a new product and you don't want to spend the time to integrate with all the 50 insurers that do motor insurance in Turkey. We have already done that for our normal business purposes, so let's use that technology. We don't ask for equity. This is the first question that I got when talking to startups here. It's a mentorship coaching program where we want to invest our knowledge into what is a good R&D way of looking at the industry. We want to achieve new products to cover new risks, look into untapped markets. If you want to sell your average motor haul 2.3% cheaper, that's not necessarily in scope. And we would like to achieve three things: trust, performance, and growth. That's it from me. Thank you for your time.